Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1:02 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. Sorry, I'm running a little bit late, but I'm here now, and it's time for another live stream. Today is Wednesday, January 25th, 2023. It's embargo lift day for the Endorphin Elite. Finally, I'm able to talk to you guys about this shoe. I was able to do my unboxing video. I did that on Instagram, and then I was able to publish the review today. I didn't think I was supposed to be able to publish the review today, but then I realized, oh wait, I could probably publish a review today. So I made sure that I had the shoe with me when I went down to Florida with my family for some vacation, visiting my in-laws who are also vacationing down there in Florida. And it turned out to be a really good decision to be able to take that shoe down there. So I'm here now. If you guys have any questions, I also have the official Saucony hammer. So if you guys have any questions about this Saucony hammer, you know, I'm happy to answer any of those questions for you guys too. Whew. All right. I could tell that the Saucony video is getting pushed out to a lot more people because there are some grumpy people in the comments today. I've told you guys before that I kind of like the size of the channel. I like the people who normally watch the channel because those are the people who kind of like enjoy running, are open to hearing about different running shoes. But every time a new video of mine gets pushed out to like a wider audience, a lot of people who seem to be very insecure about their running choices, whether it's the races that they run, how they race them, or the shoes that they pick, all get pretty feisty. So it's been been exciting to finally talk about the shoe, but also a little bit of a bummer as well. All right, now before I get too far into it, I'm already kind of going off on a tangent. I want to say hi to everyone listening on the podcast on the audio only version. Some of you have already been mentioning that you think you guys have been forgotten because you haven't heard one in a while. It's because we haven't had one in a while, but I think I've got all of them up. So hopefully it hasn't been too long of a hiatus for you. But this week is going to be a short week as well. And we'll talk a little bit further about that. But I do want to say thanks for everyone that's listening on the podcast, on the audio only. And everyone watching this on YouTube later after the fact, welcome to you guys as well. Hopefully you have all your hammering needs taken care of. If you don't, Saucony has these green hammers for sale on the Saucony website right now. If you go check it out. Actually, don't check it out. I just made that up. But I do think it'd be funny if they sold hammers. At least for like a little while. Maybe if they came as a set with the Endorphin Elite. But maybe that's just me. All right, let's see who we got here in the chat. We got Tommy's here. What's going on, Tommy? Tommy Run says, it's a beautiful shoe. Yeah, I think it looks great. I think it looks weird. Like when you hold it up, I think it looks small. And when I originally got it, I was like, oh no. Did they send me the wrong size? Like I think they sent me like a women's size. This doesn't seem like my size. And then I put my foot in it, and it fits great. And when I look at my feet, like when they're in them, they look great. So like, I don't know what it is about it, but something about the shoe just makes it look like it's not the right size. CU76 says, this is the shoe with blood marks on it. Yeah, people are making a very big deal about that. I guess I bleed in my shoes a lot, I guess. I didn't realize that would be such a big deal. Like people in the comments are like, blood in the shoe, that's a deal breaker. Like I've bled in the Alpha Fly, I've bled in my Vaporfly Next Percent. Alpha Flies, I usually bleed. I get like really terrible like blistering up at the front toe by the big toe. And then also on the pinky toe. And then like the Vaporfly, I don't think the Vaporfly Next ever made me bleed, but the Vaporfly 4%, that Flyknit definitely made me bleed. I had a white pair. That shoe made me bleed. I'm trying to think, has the Metaspeed ever made me bleed? Maybe the first version did. Again, maybe on that pinky toe area. I'm not sure. I just think shoes make me bleed a lot. I guess I just don't notice it that much. The Adidas Ultra Trail Agravic that I ran in, that shoe made me bleed like crazy. Like I had to wear bandages before I put that pair of shoes on. That was wild. So I guess that just happens to me a lot. I don't know. Am I weird? I know I'm weird, but like, does the fact that I bleed in my shoes a lot make me weird? I don't know. All right. Mark says, yo, what's going on? Glad you're back. Realized by looking at your Strava activities that my wife and I will be staying just south of where you were in March for one last vacation before baby comes in May. Awesome. Where was I just in March? Where was I in March? I don't know. But congratulations, Mark. That's fantastic. Yeah, get that baby moving in. It's like the best sleep you'll get for a long time. But congratulations. That's great news. I didn't know that. All right. Lee says, yo, what's going on? Can I have a different tool if I buy the Endorphin Elite? You know, I already have 2 hammers. I already have 2 hammers too. Like, I don't know why I have 2 hammers. I know why I have 2 hammers. I have one because I used to have an office, and I had one for the office. And then I had one at home. So that's why I had 2 different hammers. And now I have a 3rd hammer. This might be the nicest hammer that although, you know what? My nice hammer has like a rubber handle and stuff, but this is a nice hammer. That other one isn't this kind of like mutant slime green though. So there's that. You know, this hammer is pretty like scuffed up. There's like scuff marks and stuff on it. I don't know why it's so scuffed up. Like, I mean, all these scuff marks. That's not from me. I don't know. I haven't looked at this hammer very closely, but yeah. All right. Yeah, CB76 says you can only trust YouTubers that bleed in their shoes. And Martha says you're definitely weird, but we're all runners and we're weird by definition. That's what I feel like. We're all weird. I don't know. Okay, Mark says, no, I'll be there. Oh, Mark will be in Florida in March. Okay, that's a nice place. That's a nice place. I like it. I like Gulfside in Florida. He said, you were just in Florida, boo English. All right, now I understand. Mark and his wife are going to Florida, just south of where I was. Yeah, just a little bit further south than that is where my buddy, his mom lives. Well, she's a snowbird. Like, so she lives up in, right by the UP, but in Wisconsin. In the summer, and then she spends the winter down a little bit further south than where we were, maybe about an hour south of there. And so I'm kind of familiar with that. Not a lot of that area, but generally the climate and kind of like flora, fauna kind of thing. Tommy says that his hammer was scuffed up too. They sent us used hammers, maybe. I don't know. Well, maybe they had to use the hammers to like get the top onto the thing, you know? I don't know. I don't know how crates work. It sounded like it wasn't like really crated. You didn't really need the hammer for it, but it was fun. It was a lot. Yeah, Calvin says that the Saucony hammers were wear tested before being shipped. It's just another mark of a brand that cares. You know, I feel like I don't know like who made like the stuff that they sent, but I know that there are like companies that do like this kind of thing, and I don't think it's just like shoes, but like kind of like for the like product demo / like not corporate giveaways, but like gifts that you might give to like VIPs or executives. Like there's companies that like this is what they do. I don't know what the names of those companies are, but I feel like that would be a fun place to work, at a place that's like, all right, we got these 4 kinds of soap that we're trying to deliver to all these influencers, and we want them to have a really nice unboxing. What's a great way that we could package that? Like, I feel like that'd be a fun problem to solve. Or maybe it's super annoying problem to solve. It'd be like, oh, what kind of influencers are they? You know? So, Stevie76 remembers Reebok sending me fruits and vegetables. Do you guys remember that? That was the biggest unboxing I ever had. Like, I couldn't figure out how to film it. It was so big. They sent a giant crate. It was probably 4 times the size of this Saucony one, if you guys remember that. I think if you search on YouTube, like Reebok Float Ride Grow unboxing, like there was sweaters in there. There was a pair of Reebok Float Ride Grows in there. And then there was like purple cauliflower, regular cauliflower. There was bok choy. There was potatoes and peppers. It was amazing. That was that was the weirdest unboxing ever. Oh man, that's so funny. I was thinking about that when I saw the hammer in the crate. I was like, you know, they used a latch system for that Reebok one. They didn't make me use a hammer. I thought that was fun. But you know, there was another one I got for the Hoka Rocket X2. I did the unboxing wrong on that one. I just kind of figured out a way to slide the box open. But the way that you were supposed to do it, the top of the box was perforated, and it says breakthrough to your, how about like a breakthrough to your PR? And you were supposed to punch it, I think. And I didn't figure that out until I had already gotten the shoes like out of the box without breaking the perforations. So I don't know how I did that. I don't remember. But yeah. That's funny. Martha says, I wrote above that 90% of my Instagram and YouTube feeds just lit up like Aurora Borealis photos, all bright green. Yeah, there was a lot. You know what's funny is like I was getting ready to go to bed last night and I was thinking like, well, let's see. Saucony's the embargo is January 25th. Saucony's an hour ahead of me in Boston, so I could probably stay up till 11. I mean, that's way past my bedtime. I'm very rarely up at 11. But like I could stay up late and start posting some of those Instagram reels like at 11. And I was thinking about that and I was just like kind of laying in bed. I had the TV on a little bit and I was watching some YouTube and I was already starting to see some YouTube videos about the Endorphin Elite. I'm like, look at all these people breaking embargoes. And I was like, oh wait, these are British people. And so for them, it's not, because it is January 25th for them already. So I guess but they probably waited till midnight to do theirs. So I was like, maybe we'll do that. But that was like the start of it. And then there was like a lot. And I was like, a lot of people got this shoe, but it's fun. It's kind of fun to be on this. But again, like the thing that I don't like is that like it also triggers people, I think, whenever they see like a lot of the same shoe, they're like, oh, this must be some sort of conspiracy. And I'm like, well, it's a concerted marketing effort, and so, and they get mad at me about it. They're like, this shoe's overhyped. I'm like, it's hard to say a shoe's overhyped if you haven't tried it, It's hyped. Is it overhyped? I don't know. So there's just been some people when they see like, that similar color profile hitting their feeds like that get really triggered and angry. And they all love to talk to me, it seems. Martha says she remembers that Reebok produce box. Memories of the early pandemic time. Oh yeah, that was during pandemic time too. That was funny. Lalo Uchiha says, thanks for all the race recaps. Gained a lot of experience. Oh, that's awesome. Is there a specific race recap that you watched lately, Lalo? I Run in Beer says, the craziest packaging I've seen is a rare beer bottled and packaged inside of a dressed up taxidermy squirrel. No, that's gross. That's disgusting. So you have to like pull it out. You have to like pull it out of the squirrel. That's How small were these beers? I don't understand that. That's strange. Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. I wrote him that he saw a weird beer unboxing. I'm trying to think if I've seen any other really wild unboxing. I think like the craziest stuff that I see, in terms of the kind of stuff that I watch, would probably be like Custu. I don't even know if I said his name right, but like he does a lot of the shoe unboxings, and he's got like 3 different cameras. He's got a really great studio set up for it. I'm not really set up for like large unboxings. But he usually gets the really great stuff, like the kinds of, it'll be like a Jordan box and it'll have like 6 different Jordans in it. And you like open it up and there's like 6 different ones. And each one is like it's like an advent calendar of Jordan shoes, like those kinds of things I think are pretty wild. And I think I would enjoy like making those, or just making like any kind of place that makes custom cases. I think that'd be a fun place to work. Like when I used to watch Pimp My Ride. Do you guys ever watch that? I was like, these are fun problems to solve. I think I kind of, even except for the fact that I have no woodworking, fabric working, or other fabrication skills. I think I would like working at a place that does customs. Oh, guys, I got to tell you what, I'm shivering now. My hair is wet. I just came in from my run. Like I had all sorts of stuff going on with the upload for today. So I'm going to try to stay on for as long as I can, but I'm just like shivering already because I haven't even showered. My shirt's like soaking wet and I don't have any more coffee. So if I start shivering, that's what's going on, because I'm wet and I'm cold and I need to take a shower. But I wanted to go for a run in the trails today because it's snowing and I love snowy trail runs. But then with the problems with the YouTube video today, getting it uploaded, I had to re-upload it, and then I just kept to keep babysitting it, and it took forever, and so I just lost all my morning to that. So yeah, that's what Frank says. What happened to half upload? So what happens is the software that you edit the video and then you have to render it out. So I'm not sure how familiar you are with video editing, Frank, but like for people that don't know, it's not like a Word document where I could just like done typing and hit print and it like comes out. It has to then like kind of compile everything that you've edited and make a video file, and that takes time. Certain computers are faster than others. This computer that I have is I use Final Cut Pro and I use a Mac. So like Mac software, Mac hardware tends to work really well, and it usually doesn't take too long. But sometimes something that happens is when my hard drive starts to get full, sometimes it'll look like my, and I just constantly have footage from races, shoe footage and stuff like that. When the hard drive starts to get full and I haven't cleared off like old video files that I can, archive in a while, it'll look like it rendered. Like it'll give me the pop-up saying like the render is complete. I'll get a file. I can double click on it. It'll start playing and it'll look fine, and I can start uploading it, and like YouTube will recognize it as like a valid video file. But like, unless I scrub through to the end and check it and take an extra 3 seconds to check it, there could be times where it tricks me. And usually when the hard drive is almost full, it might give me that kind of problem. And most of the time I spend the extra 3 seconds to do that. But today I was really excited about like getting this video done, rendered, uploaded so you guys could watch it. And then so also that I can go out and run in the snow. And so I didn't do that check. And then as I was uploading it, I was like, oh, I forgot to do the check. I should probably go do that. I realized, oh, it was one of those tricky videos where it looks like it was done, but it actually wasn't. So I was like, all right, I set the video to publish, just keep uploading just in case like there wasn't something wrong with it, as I could investigate it further. I also wanted to save all like the description and the links and the time codes and everything that I put in the description. So I just set it to like, well, when it's done uploading, set it to private so no one could see it. And so then I went to go re-render it. I cleared off some space on the hard drive, and I was just like, doing my pre-run mobility routine. And then as I'm checking on things, because I had a short that I had also published this morning. I want to see how that one's doing. As I'm checking on the progress of that short, or the performance of that short, I see that people are like commenting, hey, this video is only like half done. I'm like, oh, crap. So then I again set the thing to private. This time it actually went to private. And then I just had to keep waiting for the video to finish rendering and then uploading. And that's what happened. So one day I'll get good at YouTube. That day was not today. So sorry about that for guys who watched it and then were left with a cliffhanger. My apologies. Stevie76 says about the price of the shoe though. If you're okay with $275, what's $25 more? $300. That's exactly what happened with the Prime X Strung. The Prime X Strung is $300. So yeah, that's exactly what's happening. That's the problem. I don't want to say I'm the problem. That's overused thing, but like that's the mentality. You know what I mean? So, I don't love the price of $275. This is a year where shoes are getting expensive. The Super Blast was a bit overpriced. I don't know. Yeah, I think that was the Super Blast $220. It should be $190. $275 for the Saucony Endorphin Elite. I mean, people will pay it, and I don't think it's a bad price. I don't think it's a price that you should stay away from. Like if they were like $400, I'd be like, I don't know, guys. Same thing with the Speedland. The Speedland's how much money? I don't even remember. But it's just like, this shoe's fine, but like that's a hard price to recommend. But $275, it's like there were Alpha Flies that were $275. Prime X1 is $275. So I'm like, those are shoes I really liked. So I don't know. It stinks that shoes are going to get more expensive. So but what is $25 more? $300? Yeah. There's shoes that are $300 that people love. So I don't know. Avalon Journey says Clearwater Marathon is this weekend. Yeah, I'm bummed out that the schedule didn't work this year. So like last year we did this same trip that I just got back from yesterday. And it happened to be the same weekend as Clearwater. And so that worked out really well, and that was a lot of fun. This year, it's not the same weekend. So, but I will be in Florida again. So I'm going to, I've told you guys, have I told you guys about this? I'm leaving. So this week, I mentioned earlier that this is going to be a short week for live streams. We'll have a live stream today, and we'll have a live stream tomorrow, but none on Friday. Because Friday, I'm traveling. I'm going back to Florida, but not Clearwater. I'm going to Miami. So Tommy, if he's still here, Tommy Runs is going to be going down there too. I don't know if he announced that to his audience yet. So if that was a surprise, I'm sorry. But we're going down to Miami. We will do a shakeout if anyone's in Miami. 9:30 a.m. I'll post a location, but keep Saturday open, 9:30. We're going to do a shakeout run. Hopefully we can meet up with some of you guys. It's going to be pretty low key. We're just going to find a park to meet at, and then we'll run a couple of miles on, I don't know. Is it runnable to run on A1A? You know the song from Vanilla Ice? That one. I've been to Miami once before in my life, I think. It's been a long time. I was my daughter's age the last time I was in Miami. Or the time I was in Miami. But we're going to Miami. So, yeah, should be fun. There's going to be a Take the Bridge event. I'm doing that. I don't know if Tommy's going to watch this one again. He watched it in Austin. I don't know if he's going to participate this time. But I'll be participating. And then I'll do the half marathon on Sunday. So hopefully I'll see you guys out there. Calvin says, I like the Coros Vertex being packaged in the rugged Pelican style case. It's a nice touch for an expensive watch compared to what Garmin sends for their $1,000 plus watches. That is really nice. And the first time I saw that, I thought that was just like an unboxing thing. I didn't realize that's like how they sell it. And I think that makes sense for the Vertex being an expensive watch. That's nice. I agree. That's a good one. Frank says like at least with all the hype, at least Saucony has gotten us straight on the pronunciation. Yeah, I think that's weird that they're making such a big deal of that, especially because like one, were people saying Saucony like as an Italian, like Saucony? I that just doesn't make sense to me at all. Like I've never heard anyone not say Saucony before. But then like she was like Adidas and Adidas are both accepted pronunciations. Puma and Puma. I don't think that those are actually two different pronunciations of the brain. I just think that's two different pronunciations of the cat. But then there's also like Asics and Asics. You know, the thing is like in the United States we call it Asics. But when the Japanese say Asics, they say Asics, or they say more like Asics. But like they say Asics, not Asics. But no one ever corrects me that it's Asics, you know, even when I speak to the Japanese. And when I mean the Japanese people that I've met who work for Asics Japan. So, I mean, like you can have multiple pronunciations and people pronounce Nike wrong all the time. There's that, but like Nike doesn't put like Nike E with like an accent on it, right? Or do they? I don't think that they do. But anyway, I just think it's weird that like Saucony was like a big thing. Yeah, it's not my favorite, but I don't know. Maybe just want to really make sure that like kind of nip it in the bud. Like don't develop an Adidas thing. Maybe that's what it was. Brandon Palmer says, like, I will say that I'm not okay with $200 plus shoes. It's a lot of money. I'm not saying that's not a lot of money, but it's just like I don't like. I think I've said this on the live stream many times that like pricing is just such a weird, confusing thing, you know. And like it's hard to say like what's pricing, so I can only go by like, all right, well, if we like daily trainers at 120. And we like speed shoes at 160 to 180. Then where does that put the race day shoes? 200, you know? So like, I think that's kind of like, I don't know how people figure it out. I don't know how they figure out the pricing, but I do feel like Adidas toys with our emotions the most. And then, here's the thing, Saucony had a chance here, I think, though. The missed opportunity is that, like, the Endorphin Pro is $225. And I think that was kind of like and maybe this is our own fault, or maybe my fault as a reviewer, that the reviewers weren't like, Saucony Endorphin Pro is $225. It's a great shoe, and it's the cheapest. Like, we never said that, So, like, I don't know. Maybe they got the signal that, like, people don't care that we came in $25 cheaper. So what if we come in $25 more expensive? So I don't know. It's my fault. Sorry. Mark Peterson says, no way. He says, I have a season 1 of Pimp My Ride on DVD somewhere still. Season 1 was the good one. Because then after like season like 3 or 4, it got really weird. It was like, I need a nicer car for when I go on job interviews, and my car is not reliable. And really all the guy wanted was like a transmission rebuild. But then they would like make the car purple and have like velvet interior with like a disco ball on the inside, and like it jingled as it went down the street. Like it just got so weird. But like I feel like season 1 was like, oh well, they actually made the car like nice. After like a couple of seasons, I just felt like they were trolling people, and they were like, oh, you wanted a blue car, how about we give you one that's green and just hideous. Like I just felt like I just feel like they were just like going like way over it. But I guess my guess is they figured out what people were watching for, and they just gave people what they wanted. I don't know. But I did like that show. Here's the other thing though about that. I felt like Exhibit was a pretty good rapper first before. I don't know. I bought that album. I felt like it was a pretty good album. And then like after that, like no one took him seriously as a musician. Or maybe he didn't want to be in music anymore. Maybe once Pimp My Ride got syndicated, he didn't need it. He didn't need music money anymore. I don't know. Anyone know? Does anyone know? I think he tried to be an actor for a little bit, didn't he? I don't know. All right, let me scroll down and keep up with you guys. I'm really far back in the chat. New Bedger says, Pimp My Ride lost the plot when there was someone with a car that wasn't worth fixing, so it just became a Scion ad. Oh, really? Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I think I remember that, but I'm actually not sure if I remember that or not. Wilfredo says, hey, Co, what are your suggestions for beginner sports action cameras? I would say like get like a GoPro Hero, like we're on 11, so get the 10. If the 10's like not budget enough, go with the 9. Or just keep going back until like it hits your price range. A lot of times on like B&H Photo, or like Amazon, they'll have even refurbished units. My first GoPro was a GoPro Hero 3 Plus black refurbished. I think I got it for like $200 or something like that. So I think that's like a great place to kind of start. Alpha Journey says for Clearwater, he's running the full. Should be warmer this year, 61 degrees Fahrenheit or so at the start. I think that'll be pleasant. Last year it was like 35 degrees at the start. Mark Chankoko was there with me, and I remember at one point I was at mile I was running the half, and I was at mile 12 or so, and I came up on this guy who was like running without a shirt on, by the way, but he was out there, and it started getting real windy, and it was cold, and I was with him for like a little bit, and I was like, he's like, you running the half or the full? And I was like, oh, I'm running the half. I'm almost done. He's like, I signed up for the full. I don't know why. I'm going to have to do another whole lap of this. So he was not happy about it. But I think the weather this week should be good. So hopefully you guys have a great time out there. Yeah, Mark M says, a lot of people get priced out with the latest and greatest. I personally only buy shoes that are on sale, 1 or 2 seasons old. Unhappy face emoji. Yeah, I mean, I think that that's a great place to find a lot of good values. And I don't think earlier this week I did the video, I guess not this video that came out today, but Monday, about starting over, or buying, if you have to buy a bunch of running shoes, or where to kind of find a couple of bargains. And I think that finding deals on last year's shoes is usually the best place to look. I would much rather have people buy last year's good shoes than this year's cheap shoes any day, without question. Because I don't know. I feel like I've never tried the Windflow, but I feel like the Windflow is one of those shoes where I'm like, I don't know. I feel like they usually put like the Windflow always feels like last year's Pegasus in terms of like the paper specs. But then, I think it was it Megan Murray who ran in the Windflow? Was it this year or last year? And she was like, this is terrible. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I've been wrong on that one. So I don't know. I just feel like I'd rather just don't look at that second tier shoes. If you want to save money, go back to last year. And that's where you're going to find the best deals and your feet are going to be the happiest most of the time. Ooh, Frank says, talking about bargain. He said, I just bought my third pair of Takumi Sen 8s because they were in the $70 again. I only have 40 miles on my first pair. I have a feeling that the Takumi Sen 9s are going to go on sale soon too. They just came out. I haven't even put my video. I was just thinking about it today. I was like, oh, I haven't even done my video on the Takumi Sen 9. I don't know when I'm going to do that video. I ran it a really long time ago. It might be this Friday's video. I think it's this Friday's video. But I just feel like it's the same as the 8. I'm really not sure that it's that different. I thought I remember them telling me at the Adidas booth that they did something with the energy rods, that they tweaked them a little bit. I'm having a hard... I'm not a talented enough runner or a skilled enough runner to notice the difference. It feels like it just feels like I have a fresh pair of the same shoe. So get last year's, get them for cheap. It's a great workout shoe. Even if you don't race in the Takumi Sen, it's a great shoe to have as a workout shoe. So I'm a big fan of that one. Scourge says, my Nimbus lights are beat up and been holding out. Yeah. Oh, well, you know what? I think that the new Nimbuses are coming out. I think people that like the Nimbus Light are really going to like the Nimbus 25. I didn't like the Nimbus 24 that much. It was good, but like that 4-foot gel, like I couldn't run very long on it. I don't know what it is about it, but like it just poked my foot. And there's no 4-foot gel this year, so that's great. The gel that they do have is a lot less. That video will come out soon. I've already got like 40 miles in that shoe. But that video will come out soon. I ran it all weekend. I brought 2 pairs of running shoes with me to Florida. I had the Endorphin Elite and the Nimbus 25s. And it was a great combo of shoes to have. I put in 30 miles on the Endorphin Elites and I think 30. How many days was I down there? I think 30 miles in the Nimbus 25. So it was a good amount of running. It was fun. Let's see. JC says, I ran last night and what I thought would be a dead pair of Rebel version 2s. They're well over 400 miles. He said they felt great. I'll buy another pair of 2s if I can find them in double E. Wow, that's a lot of miles in the Rebel 2. I just did not love that shoe. It just felt, I felt like there wasn't enough foam. I was like, there's not enough foam here. I just feel like I'm standing on the ground in that one. Like, I know Ben Johnson loved that shoe. Thomas loved that shoe, but I was just like, I don't see what you guys are getting out of this. Like, I can't run like the kind of miles that they were running in it. I only really liked doing workouts in it. But even then, I was like, I don't want to do a long workout in it. So I love the Rebel 3 though. It's on paper, it's not that different, but it feels like a completely different shoe to me. Mark says, is it worth getting the Elite if you have the Pro 3? Like, I don't know. I don't think so. Like, because the thing is, the 3 is a really good shoe. And I think that parts of me really like there's part of me that prefers the Pro 3 and a lot of me that likes the Endorphin Elite. And I'm trying not to be like, I have a lot of recency bias. Whatever one I got latest, I tend to like more. But like, there's less of an aggressive speed roll in the Endorphin Pro 3 than there is in the Endorphin Elite. So like, here's the two. So how can I show it the best there? It's just not as aggressive. So it's a little bit more of just a regular forefoot, and I kind of like that. But the foam is better on the Endorphin Elite. So it's like, if they could give me less of if they took the speed roll out of it and just gave me a bunch more of that Power Run HG in the forefoot, like kind of how they changed the Metaspeed Sky to Metaspeed Sky Plus and just made it like a big bulb of it in the front, then I think then I think that's your Alpha Fly killer. But like, it's not like people are getting mad in the comments about the Endorphin Elite. They're like, how come you didn't compare it to the Alpha Fly? I'm like, because it's not comparable. I don't think that they're similar shoes. It's a lot like the Primex, you know? So like, that's kind of where I feel like it's more similar. But in terms of like, is it worth getting the two? The both of them? I don't think a person needs to get both of them. But like, a lot of people have Vaporflies and Alpha Flies. I'm not saying that's like the exact comparison between those two, but like, those are two different kind of types of marathon racers. And these are two different types of marathon racers. I think right now that there is a lot of overlap, and like, they're both marathon shoes. I think that the Endorphin Pro 3 may do a little bit better at faster speeds for me because of the way the speed roll hits my foot. It's a little bit awkward at threshold for me sometimes. It's like one out of every like 10 strides, it'll just hit me funny. But the foam is really nice at threshold pace. So like, I don't know, like, I think for this year, like, I don't know, but like, maybe it becomes a thing. Like, I forget who I was talking to. Someone was telling me, cause I don't know. I didn't go to the Nike booth at TRE, but like, someone was saying like the Nike schedule is going to be like every other year. Oh, it was Tom. No, it doesn't tell me. I just heard this on the podcast. I think Thomas mentioned it on the drop. Nike's going to do every other year. There's an update. 1 year is Vaporfly, 1 year is Alpha Fly. Maybe that's the plan here. And I think that's going to be something we see a lot more, is that there's going to be like, unlike Ultra, where like all the shoes are going to a 2-year cycle, I think some of these race shoes are going to go to a 2-year cycle because they're all so good. I don't like, a lot of times, like, I just don't think there's a lot that really needs to be changed. But yeah, I think if you wish that there were more speed roll in the Endorphin Pro 3, then yeah, get the Elite as well. But like, if you really like the Endorphin Pro 3, I don't think you need to get both right away. Maybe when one's done, then you see if you can get the other. That's kind of how I think about it. Kevin Hong says, Thomas and Robbie were just talking about the next Vomero being pegged turbo-like after being burned by the recycled ZoomX version. I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't know. I think anytime anyone says that something's supposed to be turbo-like, I'm like, it won't be. I just don't believe it. Yeah, I don't know. Not this. I mean, I love Thomas. I love Robbie, but like, they said that about the Turbo Next or the Turbo Nature or whatever it's called. It wasn't. You know, they're going to say that about, people have been saying, I don't think Thomas and Robbie said this, but some people said that the Tracksmith Elliott was supposed to be like the Peg Turbo. I was like, it's not going to be, and it isn't. So like, I just think that's the thing that people like to throw out, and until it happens, I'm going to say, I don't think so. I'm happy to try. I'm always happy to try because I love that shoe, but like, you know, I don't know. It's so funny that people just want that shoe back so bad, and I have a feeling like it's gonna get to like Clifton status, because at some point, Nike's just gonna be like, and they'll release it in like the lifestyle section, and they won't even like let the runners know about it, and it'll be like, oh, we just remade the Peg Turbo, so that like, you know, hypebeasts can wear it, And we'll be like, oh, it's the exact same Peg Turbo, and we'll buy it and be like, this isn't good, and it might be exactly the same shoe. But just in our imaginations, Peg Turbo just had such a special place that it just becomes one of those shoes that people keep clamoring for. John Askew says, are we getting to the point of doing all our longer runs in plated shoes, or should we still be saving them for races? The vendors seem to be heading that way. So the answer is not your answer. You're asking like two different questions. So the vendors are heading that way, but not with every shoe. And so like some shoes are intended to be used every day that do have a plate, right? And so those kinds of setups are typically where the plate is more for stabilizing the foam than it is for like carbon like spring off. You know what I mean? So there's certain ones that are that way. The other shoes that you're talking about saving for your race day, it's not about the carbon that, at least in my mind, I don't think there's anything about carbon that's per se bad for it. It's not nuclear waste. It's not bad to have it near your foot. So like, I don't think, and if there's medical data to prove me wrong on that, I'm happy to read it. But like, I don't think there's anything wrong about running in carbon every day. Some people just don't like it. That's a great reason not to run in every day. But I don't think the carbon is necessarily bad for you. But like, the reason why you would be saving these shoes for race day is because one, the shoes are expensive, and two, they don't last as long as your daily trainers. So it's part of its economics, but like also the other thing is some of them aren't designed to be run on easy days. Like you don't want to take your Ferrari to go pick up groceries. You know, you're not using the Ferrari for your Costco haul. You know what I mean? It's just not suited for it. There's no trunk. There's no cargo space. Going through like a Costco parking lot is just going to scratch up the underbelly of that car like crazy. It's going to be super uncomfortable for you, and it's going to be bad for the car. Right? So like that's kind of like the other reason why. So like some shoes have durability and have a durable foam and have a carbon fiber plate that are intended to be run every day. That's great. Like a Porsche Cayenne, I guess. But there's nothing about the carbon I think that's bad for you. But like there just might be a couple of reasons why you wouldn't want to do it. Cost being one of them, and like comfort is the other. You know, they're a very specific tool for a very specific kind of job. So yeah, the vendors are heading that way with some of their shoes, but not all. You know. All right. Fiona 1977 says, "Have your toes healed?" Yeah, they're fine. The first day, the 21-mile run, that's when like the blistering started, but they didn't bleed. I don't think they bled on me the first day. They bled a little bit, but in my sock. But I jumped in the ocean, like salty water, and it wasn't like they hurt, you know? So I was like, just felt like chafing. They bled on me after the second run, which was like 3 days later, because I'm on a 9-day cycle, so every third day is a workout. So they bled on me the third day, and that's how I got all this red mark that's on the shoe now. And then that was, again, feet in the salty water wasn't a problem. But the next day, like the feet were now tender enough that like even running in my Nimbuses, the white socks that I was wearing showed a little bit of a blood mark on it. So, you know, there's that. But like, are they healed? Like I ran to, I guess I haven't taken my socks off yet, but I ran 10.5 miles today in some Tecton X's in the snow. Didn't feel like my toes were bothering me. And then I guess I didn't look at my socks after traveling all day yesterday. I don't think that there was any blood in those socks though, but I can go check. But I think my toes are fine. I don't know. James Aylward says about the Turbo, the Turbo's gone forever and even Nike can't bring back the magic. That's what I think. I think that like they're trying, but they can't. I feel like, I don't know. I want to meet the person whose idea it was to kill the Peg Turbo. Like, I would love to hear an explanation, and I would especially like to know if they regret their decision. Maybe it's someone that doesn't work there anymore. Maybe that's why they don't work there anymore. I don't know. Maybe that shoe is more expensive to make than we all think. Maybe it was like super hard to make. Remember how like Peg? I used to get photos sent to me all the time, even though I asked people to stop sending them to me. it was my fault because I did invite people to send them to me. But people would send me pictures of when like the two pieces of the foam would separate. I'd be like, how are you like, because I would make a bunch of Peg 2 videos, Peg Turbo 2 videos, talk about how much I like the shoe. And people would be like, yeah, but like there's a major construction problem. They're falling apart. And I'm like, I've had like many pairs of Peg Turbos. I don't understand. I had like the Gakuso Peg Turbo. I had the Peg Turbo Shield. I had Peg Turbo 1. I think I had 2 pairs of those. Like I had a bunch of Peg Turbos. And I never had any problems with the foam. But like people kept sending me pictures of like, this is after like 400 miles. I'm like, oh, 400 miles. This would be after 100 miles. I'm like, oh, 100 miles, that's a problem. Someone would be after like 25. Someone would be after like the second run. Someone sent me a picture of Peg Turbos where it looked like someone took like the back of a hammer and took a chunk out of the shoe like on purpose. So I was like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're doing with the shoe, but you're doing it wrong. But maybe that's why. It's just like they couldn't figure out how to keep it from falling apart. And so maybe they had a lot of returns, and I don't know. So I'm not sure. Scott Stroh says, I cherish my Peg Turbo 2s. It's a good shoe. Hold on to those. Stevie Sink says, Doc Brown says, you're telling me this sucker is nuclear? Go Running with Oliver says, carbon plate is a new 1950s house lead paint. Can you imagine if it turns out it is? In like 15 years from now, people will be playing this clip and being like, this is how clueless everyone was. They didn't even realize that putting carbon by your feet was terrible for your health. I mean, it's not like carbon is nuclear radioactive waste. You know? I don't know. People thought that about asbestos, lead paint, lots of things, I guess. But I don't think carbon fiber has been around people for a long time. So I don't think that's going to be it. Bishan Mom says, what? He's my Lambo as a grocery getter. You know, go into the quick checkout lane too, like 10 items or less. There you go. Go Running with Office says, does Kofuzi believe in Super Beats supplement? I don't know. I go back and forth on it. I have a bunch of it. I've done some training blocks where I've taken beats, like a beet powder, a lot. And do I feel like it helped? Maybe. I'm not sure. But the thing that I do know about beet supplements is that I do not like the taste of it. And so I don't like to take it. So that's kind of my stance on it. I'm like, maybe it helps a little bit, but it's just so gross. You know, the odd thing is I love beets. If I go to a restaurant and like if there's like a beet salad, like roasted beets with like goat cheese and walnuts or pecans or something, some sort of a nut in there. Like if that's an appetizer, I'm getting that every single time. My mouth is watering just thinking about it. Probably because I haven't eaten lunch. But I love beets. But like the beets, the drinks, ugh, so gross. I don't want to have any of those at all. Tomnik Marper says, is this idea of using carbon as a daily trainer what Saucony is going after with the Kinvara Pro? Yeah, the carbon, I think I'm allowed to talk about this. The carbon in the Kinvara Pro is like a teardrop shape. So I think that carbon is, again, like I said, the way that carbon for daily is used is not for springiness, but for stability. And so it's going to be a teardrop kind of at the front of the shoe, like kind of cupping where your toes are. So it's going to be a little bit different than the carbon that we've seen before. And I don't think that's the main selling point of it. Maybe it is a selling point of it. Maybe it is a main selling point of it. I'm actually not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm going to like the Kinvara Pro. I'm very optimistic, but I tried it on, and I look forward very much to trying it out. But that's going to be a weird one. And people have been asking questions in the comments about like, wait, shouldn't Elite be less expensive than the Pro? Because Pros are more elite than Elites. And I'm like, I don't know. None of the words are just gibberish at this point. Doesn't matter. iPhone Pro, iPhone Plus. I don't know which one's better. iPhone Max. I mean, max at least connotes a size, but like, I don't know. These are just words. And then I didn't want to tell that person like later in the year, there's going to be a shoe called the Kinvara Pro, which is for daily training. So like, just hold on to your butts. It's going to be a weird year, especially with that Kinvara Pro. But I think that like the Deviate Nitro, not the Nitro Elite, but the Deviate, the Deviate, Nitro. Because there's the Deviate Nitro and the Deviate Nitro Elite. The Deviate Nitro from Puma last year and this year is that same idea where it's supposed to be more of like a long distance daily trainer that has carbon in it. So like there's other shoes that have been incorporating that kind of concept and idea. And like if you think about it, Mizuno's been doing it for like a decade or maybe longer with the wave plate. That's kind of what they're kind of trying to do, a similar idea. So I feel like in a lot of ways, like, you know, when they just start putting carbon in a lot of shoes, not saying that this is necessarily going on with the Kinvara Pro, but when they put it in a lot of other shoes, I'm just like, does it help? Does it do what I think carbon does? Or is this just like a fancy wave plate? I'm not sure sometimes, you know, so we'll see. I mean, I don't know exactly what's going on with the Kinvara Pro. Mm-hmm. All right, let me scroll down and do a couple more, and then we got to get going because I'm really cold, and it snowed today, and I didn't shovel the driveway yet, so I feel bad about that. I did finally open up the box to the snow blower, and I plugged in the batteries this morning, so I'm gonna maybe go try to do that. All right, this is a great way to end it. Go Running with Oliver says, word on the street from Believe in the Run. It says that Co has a pink champagne luggage. Is this true or false? It's absolutely true. And Michael Haney says, that's not how he sees it. That's true. That's also true. It's my daughter's. It's like rose gold. It's a hard-sided case. I forget what brand it is. It's not like, it's one of those like fashion brands. It's not Samsonite because that's like a luggage brand, but it's like, I want to say like, it's not Kenneth Cole or something weird, but it's something weird like that. And it's hard-sided and it has the spinning wheels. So like there's a Pathfinder luggage, which is a real luggage that my wife and I have. We kind of like, well, it's my wife's because she used to be a traveling consultant. But then when I started traveling more for work than her back in my old job, then I kind of took it over. But that one has just the two wheels that drag behind you. It doesn't have the spinny. And so I like the spinny, and my daughter has the spinny. And I also like the color of that suitcase because it looks kind of like not pink to me, but it looks like a kind of a fancy gold, right? So not like bright gold, but like a gold metallic hue. And so I just like that, and no one else has a suitcase like that. And so it's easy for me to find at the airport, and it spins. And it's hard-sided, and it's a little bit smaller than the Pathfinder suitcase, so it fits in all the overhead bins, so it's perfect, and I really like it. So it's my pink suitcase. So if you see a pink suitcase, that's me. All right, Mark Chang Coco says rose all day. That's right, rose. That's a good color. That's a good word for it. All right. This is Kevin says, make sure to snowball your neighbor's sidewalk too. Tell your folks to say hi and watch for deer. All good advice. All right, guys. Tomorrow, happy hour, I have a guest. Tomorrow's guest is going to be Megan Featherston. We talked about it a while ago, so I have to remind her. Hopefully she's still available. But the Megan Featherston should be the guest for tomorrow, so bring on your nutrition-related questions, and we'll just hang out for the last live stream of this week, which will be tomorrow. So hopefully I see you guys then. Same time as today, 1 p.m. Central Time. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.